How's it going, guys? This is awkward and creepy. Hopefully you're doing well. I know I'm sending you this video a little bit earlier than normal, but we're going to have some things I'm just going to clarify for how we're going to work things out for this online learning. So I'm just going to clarify everything, make sure you all understand what my expectation is for me, what it is for you, and I'll just make sure I just try to clear everything up. And feel free to share this video with your parents too, because I want them to all know. I'll be sending them an email here soon to explain everything in writing at the same time. So otherwise, just make sure that you hold yourself accountable. If you have any questions, though, throughout this entire online learning process, especially with geometry, please email me. Please ask me. I will do my best to help you. There's a few of you guys last week, Thursday and Friday, I could tell you were extremely stressed. So if you're stressed, ask me for help, or ask another teacher for help or advice, or an administrator for how to handle this online learning, or a counselor, whoever, because it is different. This is a challenge, all right? But we'll get through this together, all right? And I'll do my best. So on my end, I will do my best to be as organized and clear as possible. But you have to make sure that you do everything that you're supposed to. All right, read through the emails, watch the videos. Don't skip through the videos. All right, a lot of people jump ahead. Right? There's details, information in there that will answer most all your questions. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to help you. You got to do your best to help yourself too, though. Okay, so eliminate stress before it happens. Okay, that's the main thing I want you to get out of anything on this video. Okay, so anyways, let's go straight into prayer real quick. We'll pray and we'll just go through and go over the review, and I'll just show you how I'm going to get everything done. We're going to get everything done during this journey of online learning. So let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of technology so that we can even do this online learning and not have to extend school days later on. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for Wi-Fi. Thank you for all the good things that we have going for us in our lives. For all the positive things, because things could always be a lot worse. And please pray for all those affected negatively during this coronavirus. So please pray for that, and pray for everybody's intentions that they sent to me on Google Forms, and continue to send to me on Google Forms. So we'll lift those up in prayer as well. So we'd like to intercede to your Mother Mary by praying, "Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thy intercession was left unaided. Inspired with this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgin, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of thy Word incarnate, despise not our petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me." Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. All right. So, we're breaking things. So we have every class period, as I've learned from last week of what I need to do. What I've learned to try to help you guys. And thank you for responding to that survey. It seems like a lot of you guys kind of like what I was already doing with online learning, so I'm going to continue that. The only thing that from your feedback, what I gathered was that you want me to post things on Google Classroom. So I'm going to try to do. I've started doing that. If you have any pointers or whatever, I'm trying my best to make things work for you as smoothly and as least stressful as possible. So here's how I'm going to do it on my end. Okay, we're going to start off in prayer every day. I'll send you, and then I'll send them to you on your email. All right, so check your emails. I'll put the link for the class also on Google Classroom. I'll just do both. All right, since about half of you liked email, what I was doing, the other half preferred Google Classroom. I'll just do both. Okay, I'll make you all happy. All right, so you're welcome. But here's the agenda board. And also, thank you, Robert, for your nice email of saying how much you appreciate my organization. So hopefully it's helping you and everybody else. So thank you. Positive feedback is good for me and for you to get through this together. All right, so I'm going to have my agenda board. All right, every single class period, I will show you what I want. We'll go through this at the end of this video this time. Otherwise, most times it'll be during the beginning. So I'll go through the agenda of what we're going to do during that class period. Today we're just reviewing for your test, so I'm doing it earlier so that you can ask me questions by Sunday night before your test on Monday or Tuesday if it's an A or a B day. All right, so make sure that you are checking that and asking me questions before the test. I am not going to respond since we're doing it online. I'm not going to help anybody doing last-minute questions on Monday or Tuesday. Even for you that are taking the test on Tuesday, I'm not going to answer questions on Monday because people talk, right? People text, and unfortunately, I know that people from my A day class are going to be telling people on my B day. That happens. I don't want that to happen, right? So make sure that you are being honest with yourself. That's actually what I'm doing here with this. And as a reminder for myself to tell you, I want academic ownership. You guys are going to be tested. You are tested during this whole process, right? And I will help you through it, right? But you own your academic learning by being accountable and watching these videos, doing what I ask you to do, reading my emails, and all your other teachers, right? So you got to be organized. Make sure you're responsible for your work, and make sure you are honest, please, right? Honest with me, honest with yourself, honest with your parents, honest with your other teachers, honest with God. Be honest with everybody, please, all right, throughout this journey so that you can learn as best as you can. All right, things are working out pretty good so far, though, so I've been pleased with that. All right, so anyway, let's just cut straight to the chase. Joey, by the way, thanks for the light cover again. I've relocated it to my apartment. This way we still get that classroom vibe, right? So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over the review for your test. All right, so you had 11 questions, and I'll just go through those briefly. And if you need to, if I'm going too quickly, just pause the video. All right, just pause it and go back, check it out again. And otherwise, I'll do my best to clear things up for you. All right, so anyway, let's just go straight into the review answers. All right, again, your test is on transformations, dilations, translations, reflections, and rotations. All right, based also from your feedback, it seemed like majority of you guys all understood those pretty well. Rotations was the most difficult, so if you need help on that, again, just go back and check out the rotations video that I posted on YouTube, okay? But if you have more specific questions, email me. I can't say that further enough times. Email me, I will help you. All right, so anyway, let's just go into the review. All right, stop talking, Mr. G. Number 1, here's what you guys should get. All right, so looking at our translation rule, let me grab a pencil here. So looking at our translation rule, that means you're going right 4, down 6. For all of these answers, my original image, my pre-image, is the one that is unshaded. All right, so it is the one that is the white image. All right, and then all of my resulting images are shaded in. All right, that's for all of these on this entire review. All right, especially number 2 that we're going to get to next. All right, but that's what your answer should be. All right, make sure you know how to plot points, relocate them, but we did pretty well on translations overall, so I'm not too overly concerned. Moving on to number 2. All right, there's 2A, B, and C. That's what you guys should get. All right, reflections. Number 2 is all about reflections. All right, the mirror line. Check your notes. We did these in class. All right, but if you're confused, let me know. Especially on this one. Okay, so the line of reflection is x equals 2. It's a vertical line. All right, so make sure that you reflect it across that image. Okay. Anyway, otherwise that's those 3. I think we did pretty good on those. Here is D, E, and F. Remember, I changed the rule, the reflection rule on letter F over here. All right, so make sure that you're cool with that. X equals -1, again, vertical line. And this result overlaps, right? It's okay to overlap, all right? But otherwise, if you need to, pause the computer screen, check these answers, but that's what we should get. All right, if you miss them, if you're confused, let me know. So that's page 1. Moving on to page 2. Here's what you should get. Check out number 3. You get x plus 2.5, y minus 1 with my translation rule. All right? Make sure you are, it is okay to get decimals. Okay, but that's number 3. Number 4, Eli, thank you for emailing me. I told you we would get to this one. All right, and so yeah, here are your answers. So you guys should have this in front of you for number 4. If you need to, just write all of these answers down real quick, or pause the video, write them down. All right, that's fine, and then look at this paper right here as I show you this next thing that I have for you. Okay, so number 4, I have all of these questions on this board. All right, I'm going to give a shout out also to Bailey. Thank you, Bailey, for your email last week. All right, if you have a question, guys, and this is what I did with Bailey, and she said it worked great. All right, I will continue to do this. If you want a specific question answered, all right, and then I can just email me. I will do the problem on the board, on this board, and then I will take a picture of it. I'll take a picture of it. I'll email it to you. I'll put some words on there to make sure you understand what's going on, and then we'll be good. All right, it worked good for Bailey, so I think that it should work. It'll work for everybody else. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, but anyway, this is the answer. These are all the answers to number 4. Actually, they're not the answers. They're the problems. Okay, the answers were on here that hopefully you already wrote down. All right, so the original problems are here. All right, so if you read, Eli, this is for you. All right, so if you read number 4, we are reflecting all of these. All right, so point A is in green. Ambrosia, thank you so much for these different colored dry erase board markers. All right, it's very helpful for this. So thank you, Ambrosia. Anyway, here is number 4A. So I graphed 3, 5. Actually, that is not 3, 5. That is 3, -5. That was your answer. Okay, so green. Yeah, I never should have erased it. Anyway, 3, 5. This was 3, -5. That was your answer, right? 3, 5 should have been up there. All right, but anyway, I think you guys get that one. You just reflected across the x-axis. Okay, but otherwise, for B, -2.7. Now this is correct. -2.7. Go ahead and reflect that across the y-axis. So here's my y-axis. So we reflect it from here to over here. Right. So that's how I get that answer as 2.7. Number C, or letter C, that is in blue. All right. So I've got 4.6. Hopefully, yes, I do. So I've got 4.6. That's the original problem. Then remember the translation rule across y equals x. That's my blue line. All right, that's why it matches up with C in blue. So if I reflect that across that line, my x and y variables just switch. Okay, so that's so it should be right over here if I were to graph it. All right, for my C prime. D, 2, 4. All right, so 2, 4 is in pink. All right, so if I reflect pink across this line, this is my pink line. It'll go from here down to here. All right, so that's how I get -4, -2 for that answer. E is purple. That's purple. So if I've got 3, 1, and I reflect it across this purple line right here, that is my equation y equals 3. So if I reflect this, it should move up to there. All right, that's why my answer is 3, 5. And then the next one in orange, the most difficult one to do on this board, 8, -3. That's letter F over here. I couldn't go all the way to 8 because I ran out of space, but imagine it goes somewhere over here. So 8, -3, I am reflecting that all the way across over here. All right, so here's my equation of x equals -5. So if I reflect this all the way over here, it's clearly not going to fit on this graph, but that's okay. Your answer should be 18, -3. All right, so hopefully that helps. Eli, thank you, Bailey, for helping me with that motivation to get this figured out and figuring that out on my end. So, but yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. But those are the answers to number 4. All right, moving on. We already did 5 and 6 in the last video. All right, just make sure you know what rotational symmetry is, and then make sure you know what the definition of isometry is. So again, that was on my the previous video from our previous class. All right, and then you have there's the answers to number 7 and 8. All right, so number 7 is just like normal. You plug in your x and your y into your translation rule equation. But number 7b is a little different. Here I say what is the pre-image of -4, -1, meaning this is my result, not my original. Right, so I had to go backwards. So using this translation rule right here, rather than just plugging them in like I did for number 7, I had to set x plus 3 equal to -4 and solve for x. And then I had to plug in y minus 2 and set that equal to -1. And then I added 2 to both sides, and I got y equals 1. Right, so I had to go ahead and plug this in, or then so this is my pre-image. Okay, so I went backwards. So if I take -7, 1 and plug it into here to that translation rule, then I should get those answers. Okay, so it's kind of, asking it backwards, right? But hopefully that makes sense. If you need more clarification, again, feel free to email me. Next one, number 8. Color coordinated this for you. All right, so I did the translation. So my original image is in yellow, my yellow highlighter, and then I went to the right 6 and I went down 1. So that is my orange one. Notice I labeled them properly, and then after that I reflected the orange one across the y-axis, and I ended up getting the blue one. So that's my A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Okay, so make sure you understand that, but it just went 1 to 2, 2 to 3. We get all 3 graphs on there, as you can see in this video. All right, number 9, you can see that my dilation of a scale factor of 2, so K equals 2. Justin, I know you had some questions on dilation, so hopefully that helped. Okay, so what I did on D, E, and F is I wrote down all my original points from the smaller triangle right there. So I wrote those coordinates down right over here, multiplied them all by my scale factor of 2, got those results, graphed it, got my graph, and then it is an enlargement. Okay, so hopefully that, and again, this is all review, so we're good. Number 10, I did the same thing. All right, same exact thing, except my scale factor is 1/3 now. All right, so I did 1/3, or you can make a decimal of 0.3 repeating, but you'll get your new coordinates as G prime, E prime, O prime, and that is a reduction. Your answer should look like this. Again, pause the video if you need to take a longer look. Last page, ladies and gentlemen. This is virtually what your duck project would have been, your transformation project, right here. This is just smaller scale. All right, so you can see I just went step by step by step. I'm going to show you the graph. This is what your graph should have looked like. I designed it so that everything should fit on this graph nicely, so nothing was outside of the graph. All right, so I'm just going to go through what some common mistakes are with this. All right, so I got Bruno. That is my pentagon, Bruno. So I got my original one. I labeled it with 1 on the inside because that's what the directions tell me to do, right? So then I plotted those, labeled that as 1, and then I reflected it across that blue line. That is the equation y equals -1. Okay, so whenever you're counting to reflect it, you're counting from the blue line of reflection, right? So we all know how to do reflections. So I reflected it from 1 to 2. I end up down here. Okay, so then I do the rotation. All right, so since I move on to the rotation, and I am using step 2 points to get to step 3 points, I am no longer worried about these points. I don't care about them. They're in the rear view mirror. All right, so then I use these points to get these points. I use my rotation rule of 180 degrees, which is right here. So x comma y to -x comma -y. So you can see, hopefully, of all my B prime points to my B double prime points. All right, so all my x and y coordinates turned opposite. All right, so just pause it if you need to check that out. So these to there. All right, so then from step 3, and that brought me over here, right after I rotated it. So step 1 to 2 to 3 is where we're at. Then I go from step 3 to step 4. All right, so using my translation rule over here, I go left 2 and down 12. So if you do that with all of these coordinates from step 3 to get to step 4, you will end up graphing it, and it'll be right there. Okay, so that is my result. I'll put it down so you can see your step 4 coordinates of what you should get. And then whenever you do step 5, your dilation of 0.5 or 1/2, you multiply all of these coordinates right here by 0.5 or by 1/2. You'll get these coordinates, and you'll end up with image 5. Okay, be careful. Some of your points, this is always my origin. All right, don't be tempted to treat this as your origin right there. All right, that's why I put that bigger. All right, that's my origin. I always go from there whenever I'm plotting points. So -3, 0 for that one right there on my 5th pentagon. Okay, so but that's what you should get, guys. And that was virtually what your project was going to be. All right, now the very last one in the box, I put that one on there because that's a very common ACT and SAT problem. All right, so it says, explain how you can move your step 5 image back to its original image on step 1. So it's asking, how do I go from 5 and go right back to 1 in the least amount of steps as possible? Okay, so I just did what I did on there. I dilated it first because I wanted to take care of that right away. So that brought me back from 5 to 4, working backwards. But then what I decided to do is I reflected it across the y-axis. So I would have went from here to here, and then I just translated it. But you can see what I did, steps 1, 2, and 3, but all of these answers can vary. All right, and again, I did that because that's on the ACT and the SAT. Okay, but hopefully that makes sense. All right, but that's your review. All right, so make sure that you do your part and make sure that those answers make sense for your test. Your test, as we move on to that, is going to be on Google Forms. All right, so back to this. All right, so you know emails. All right, check your emails. You know the videos. Don't skip them. All right, you know that I'm using Google Classroom, Google Docs. Ask me your questions in Google Docs. I'll be going back and forth. If you don't want to email me, if the Google Docs is easier, use that. The homework and classwork is more of an honor code. I just got to trust that you're checking your answers on my answer keys that I send you. And if you don't get it, I got to trust you to email me. That's just what the world we live in right now. All right? Ownership. But as far as your quizzes and tests, they're on Google Forms. All right? They have to be done on your Chromebook under your login. Okay? So otherwise, you're not going to get a score. All right? And they also have to be done during class time. Okay? So do it during that hour time frame. That's when I want you to take that. I'm going to limit it to 3 o'clock, because I do know some people take longer, but you can only take it once. Once you start it, you have to click submit. All right, don't close out of the Google Forms quiz. All right, I get notified every single time you log in and log out. All right, so I will know exactly when you're on it and how long. All right, so please make sure that you are doing it honestly. And it's going to lock all your other tabs. All right, I will be able to see what you see on your screen. All right, so and you're not going to be able to open up new tabs. All right, so please make sure you are doing that test honestly. And it's all multiple choice. There's 35 questions. 2 of them are extended response, and I'll grade those, but you won't see the scores right away. All right, but again, it's the first time I'm doing it, just like the first time you're doing it. But we've done quizzes on Google Forms before, just not test, right? So I had to organize it and do some research of what would work best for all of us. All right, so otherwise, again, key point, Google Forms on your Chromebook for your test Monday and Tuesday, depending on if you have me on A day or B day. All right, so that's really all I got, so major announcement, you have to ask me by Sunday night if you have any questions on your review. All right. Even like I said, even if you don't take the test until Tuesday, B-dayers, if you don't take the test until Tuesday, I'm not going to answer any questions. All right. You need to do that in advance. All right. I'm not going to answer questions on Tuesday. You got to ask me the night before. All right. Otherwise, again, if you need clarity, please ask me. But that's what I got. All right. Otherwise, good luck on your test, guys. You'll do great. Transformations hopefully wasn't too bad of a chapter for you. Then we'll move on to chapter 9 of right triangles. So that's what we're doing next. Best of luck on your test, guys. St. Thomas Aquinas. There we go. Pray for us. Keep it real, guys. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.